I want to get to the point where it's like, God, this is my testimony. My life that you've given me. I've gone through this, been through this, go through this. I'm able to do this, all thanks to you, kind of thing.
Welcome everyone. We are thrilled to invite you to a whole new season of Reservations for Two here at STK. But before we dive in, let's take a moment to emphasize the importance of self-care. Remember, professional therapy is a recipe for a healthy and a happier you. However, here, we also like to celebrate the joy that comes with sharing meals with friends, because good food and good company go hand in hand. So get ready for a season full of laughs, wonderful cuisines, joy, learning experiences for your own betterment journey. So we hope you enjoy this season. Mwah. Living with sickle cell anemia isn't just about managing symptoms, it's about carving out a life that's fulfilling. It involves pursuing passions, forming connections, and fostering joy. It's a testament to the strength from within, proving that despite the challenges, a rich and meaningful life is not only possible, but it is worth striving for. Now join me as I have a reservation with Alvin Ikenwe, actor, presenter, and host, living with sickle cell anemia. Alvin is using his platform to not only encourage, but to shine a much needed light on sickle cell and bringing important conversations to the forefront. We go back.
Yeah.
It's very much family at this point.
Yeah, definitely.
And one thing about you that I guess not a lot of people know, because you don't shout about it. You don't shout about it, but you also haven't allowed it to define you. And I don't want to take away from like kind of the things that you've done, but just as a preface as to why we're having this conversation, is that you are, can I call it a sickle cell survivor?
Not survivor, but I'll say sickle cell advocate.
Sickle cell advocate.
And I have sickle cell. So
yeah. Sickle cell advocate. And someone who is, you're dealing with it on a daily basis. On a daily basis, but you've also accomplished so much, and you're still striving to accomplish so much despite it.
100%.
And I think when we was even speaking about having this conversation, you were saying that you wanted to do a lot more around it this year.
That's the aim.
Yeah, highlighting it, your journeys, your journey, your challenges, your successes, alongside the amazing things that you're also doing in your career and accomplishing your goals and defining who you are in this, I guess, social media age.
Yeah,
so thank you for having this conversation with me.
Thank you for having me.
No, I appreciate it.
There's better people could have chosen.
No, of course I had to choose you. I had to choose you.
If you didn't, it would have been long.
It would have been hard, man.
Yeah. I would have been emailing that. Yo, so what? You didn't want to shout me?
Hello? No, I had to because it's inspiring to see you work, and it's inspiring to see you go. And also, I love the fact that you haven't allowed something that is so major and that's such a huge part of your life to completely define or encompass the being of who you are. And I think it'd be interesting, not only to bring knowledge to it, because I feel as though it's still something that isn't spoken about enough. A lot of people do not understand it. A lot of people do not, it's kind of called like the silent disability, isn't it? A lot of people don't understand how challenging it can be, and don't, because of that, understand how much it takes for you to literally choose to just keep going every single day, despite what you're feeling like today, despite whether you wake up today and you have a crisis or anything like that. Yeah, so I think it's beautiful, and I think thank you. No, thank you. I think thank you.
I think thank you.
No, I think thank you for coming. But yeah,
thank God, man.
I appreciate you. So if we kind of just go back to just even your journey to date, because before we even jump into the sickle cell and how you're dealing with it, how are you?
How am I? That's a good question, you know. And it felt very genuine. Sometimes you get the how are you, but
no, I mean it from the heart.
No, I'm alright, you know. I'm very blessed, if I do say so. I feel like the end of 2023 tried to take me out just a little bit. Like I had a crisis just before Christmas. I was admitted to hospital. I had a few like complications with just my leg and stuff. It was like, it was really like, oh, my day's right at the end of the year kind of thing, innit? And I kind of just stepped into this new year. It was just like, not this whole new year, new me thing, but I was just like, I'm not gonna let whatever I can't control me. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think, you know, I woke up this morning, nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? hopped out of my bed, put my swag on.
Gosh, with a dimple in check as
Easy,
well.
man.
Gosh.
Aye. But no, genuinely, yeah, it was alright. I had a GP appointment this morning, just cause life, obviously. From there, went home, chilled for a bit, played FIFA, and then got ready to come here.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then getting ready to go and make more money after.
And then go, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, going straight to Box Park to host.
Nice. In terms of talking about sickle cell, before we go into it, for those who don't know, how would you define it?
How would I define sickle cell?
Yeah.
Oh, see, now I got my phone. Yeah. How would I define sickle cell? Yeah, no, definitely an invisible disease.
Yeah.
Or the silent disorders, as they call it. Life altering. I feel like something like sickle cell can kind of like anything or majority of things can kind of trigger a crisis for different people in it. So I feel like for some people, or the majority consensus is stress, overexerting the body, cold weathers, transitions from hot to cold weather as well. But overall, yeah, there's something I always say in it, and I say with sickle cell, I feel like Superman, and I feel like there's a mix in it. Like obviously, you got Clark Kent, Superman, and Kryptonite. And obviously, Kryptonite is like his power. And I feel like sometimes sickle cell is my Kryptonite, but I'm still kind of like a lit person. I'm still someone who does what he needs to do.
Yeah.
Family, friends. So I feel like very much my Superman trait. Like sickle cell is my Kryptonite. So it's there. And obviously with Superman, until he on that land or whatever, he's not affected, kind of thing. So, but we know that that's the one thing that can get Superman down, and that's Superman, isn't it? So
yeah, that's your sickle
yeah,
cell.
that's my
But I love how, and it's so funny that you say that, because even when, like I say, we've known each other for a long time now, and I can't even say I've known of a time, because you have. Would you say that you've kind of kept it to yourself a little bit?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for years.
Yeah.
For years. So, how can I put it? Before 2020, 2019, possibly 2019, I didn't speak about it. I didn't really feel like, the only people that knew were people close to me.
Yeah.
So like family and anyone that I worked with on a regular basis, just so if anything's happened, it's a heads up.
Yeah.
But more time, I worked through pain. I've had some of my best shows in pain.
Really?
Like, full on. And I just thought, I think for me, I hate pity. Like, I hate feeling like, oh, are you okay? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, treat me how you treat everyone else. Be a nice person, though.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm as normal. You know what I'm saying? I'm normal. I'm a human being. Obviously, I have sickle cell. Certain things can happen. But on a face front, if you didn't know that you're going to treat me a certain type of way, I want you to treat me the way throughout, kind of thing. So yeah, I didn't really speak about it. I just thought, there's no point. I've always had dreams and goals of what I wanted to do with sickle cell and the stories I wanted to tell. But I just thought, when I'm rich and famous, innit? And then I think one day I just had an epiphany.
So you're rich and famous.
Obviously, I don't talk too much about it. Don't Google my net worth. Don't do it.
Please.
Please don't. Not yet, anyway. Give me like 2-3 years. You can Google it. But so now for me, it was just, there's no point speaking about it just yet. People that know. One day when I'm big and dandy and I've got all these visions, I'll talk about it and stuff. And I think one day I just had an epiphany. Pretty much close, back and forth between being near death and just growing up. And then I was like, no, I need to start now, innit?
Yeah.
Not just in case, but just in case. Start now, start getting the word out. And then I remember the first time I went to watch 90s Babies. I went to watch their pod and they were having a live show. And they were asking if anyone in the audience had sickle cell, known about sickle cell, whatever, innit?
Yeah.
And then if anyone wanted to come and speak about it, and then my bedroom was like, go on. And I was like, oh, I know I said I was going to speak about it, but I didn't know it was going to happen now.
Yeah.
And I just thought, let's take the bait. And I went on stage and I spoke about it.
And was that the first time you spoke about it publicly?
Yeah.
Really? How was
that? My heart was doing, like my heart was going 10,000 miles. But you just got to stay composed, innit? And I think it's interesting because I think even though I was on stage, I was able to, I can do this thing where I'm able to talk about something from
a detached
a
perspective.
detached perspective, exactly. Where I'm like, I could talk about it like, wow, I know so much about it. Could be family or friends, could be me. I guess we'll never know. But that was the first time I spoke about it in public, and it was interesting. It felt good though. So I said, yeah, I want to do this more.
Yeah. And what was the feedback from it?
People like, well, a lot of people didn't know. Some people came up to me to speak about it afterwards. But they were doing I think they had a charity that they were supporting, so a lot of people just go and find them. But then I think for me, it was just like, do you know what, this ain't even that bad. Let's just talk about it more and let's get people knowing about it. A lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about it. And I think that's what is so, that's almost what's so scary about it, because it is something that is, I guess it's super prevalent. It is something that mainly affects the Black ethnic minority. I don't even want to call us a minority, but it's something that mainly affects us, isn't
people,
it?
Yeah, definitely.
And I think
Caribbean society
especially, and I think because it's something that mainly affects us, it isn't something that health-wise they're super concerned about.
Yeah, so it's mad tough, by the way. Struggling. There we go. I'm sorry, because you was on the floor as well, but I just didn't want it to look mad.
I think it is something that usually I can't stand you. I think it's something that usually that because it does affect us, it's something that on like a mass level, health-wise, they're not as concerned about, because it makes absolutely no sense to me as to how up until now we're just getting into the boats of there could be maybe let's do some research into maybe if there's a cure and It makes absolutely no sense to me. It's crazy. It is so crazy.
One in a hospital bed.
That's so crazy.
Oh, man.
It's insane. And I think because it is something that isn't so widely spoken about, which is why I'm so proud of you for being like, okay, do you know what? This is something that I'm going to take on, because it's such a huge feat to take it on, to speak about it, especially when you are dealing with it as well. Because everyone's experience of sickle cell is so different. Not everyone has the same level of crisis. Just because, today you might have a crisis in your leg doesn't mean that the next person might have a crisis in their arm or in their back. It's so different from person to person. The severity of it is so different that I think because it's not so often spoken about, it has even allowed us that are in the know to kind of also shy away from speaking about it as well. And which is why I'm so proud of the fact that you're like, okay, do you know what? I do want to take this on and I want to speak about it some more. But even when I kind of like tap into your mental and like your emotional, because it does affect all facets of who you are, what would you say made you shy away from speaking about it in the first place?
That's a good question. What made me shy away from it? I would probably say my parents. Shout out my parents though, real G's. But I think what they did from
Can I just pause you?
Go on.
Listen, if you guys ever see a picture of Alvin's mum, oh my goodness, Alvin's mum is 10 out of 10s across the board. Like
my whole family,
Alvin's
I'm
mum,
joking.
fantastic.
Everyone says it every time. Oh my gosh, your mum looks so young.
Fantastic.
Yeah. She's
like
married,
everyone thinks she's
no one tries. She's married.
Happily
married.
Happily married.
I'm saying 25 years plus than that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll let her know, man. She'll probably watch this and be like, oh yeah, what's that? Start posting on Instagram and that when people look for her. But no, I think there's an element in the African society that's very taboo of talking about diseases.
Yeah.
And I think my parents done so well when I was younger of making me, I'm going to say this, but obviously feel as though I was very normal by just allowing me to do things.
Yeah.
But they protected me so well by giving me like the big jackets and making sure I stayed warm and all these other things. Obviously, regardless of as much as they've done, I still had crisis, I still ended up in hospital sometimes. But I was able to kick ball from early. I went swimming. A lot of people just didn't have that. Like, they were so shielded away. But I think one thing my parents were just like, nobody really needs to know. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just a thing where it's like,
we'll manage it.
Yeah, we'll manage it. Do you know what I'm saying? And they're big believers in God as well. So a lot of it was like faith-based. Like, no, you're healed, you're well, and all these things. And I think from young, my mentality was like, no, I'm good, man. Like, even though I've got this, I'm calm. So I think, not that it was a bad thing, but I think my position of speaking about it was like, it doesn't define me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm bigger than that. And also, not everybody needs to know kind of situation. That was the early stages of it. Then obviously, having more crisis as you get older because of stress in uni and stuff, it became I don't want pity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And I think now I'm at a stage of education.
Yeah. Which shows growth. At what point would you say, like, you internally was like, okay, yeah, I think I've got sickle cell? I'm asking good questions today. You should be paying me for asking you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Wait, so at what point did I deep that I had sickle cell? That's Do you know what it is? Yeah, that's a mad thing. Because I'm trying to think. Because I knew I had it from young.
Yeah.
But I was doing so well with things that, like, I still had great attendance in school. I think mainly just summers. I think probably uni. Probably uni at the end of uni is when I was like, right, yeah, man's got sickle cell.
Really?
And I say that because not in a weird way, but sickle cell isn't just pain.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much around sickle cell that people don't realize. So obviously, even though pain is a major factor, but we have our blood cells are like crescent shaped, so they're not flowing how everyone else flows. So our body's working twice as hard as the normal person. So which leads to other things like a weak immune system. I've had friends who have had like a lung collapse. I've had friends who have had people can get ulcers from them. Like, so people, like, obviously because of lack of blood flow, can get ulcers in your back, which I've been privy to, innit? And it's the worst thing ever. And that like messes up your mental, because you're like, I'm a young boy, like, why am I going through this? You know what I'm saying? So I would say uni possibly, and and I had a near cardiac arrest situation. So so I think then was like, rah, like, man's got to take care of my life. Yeah, man.
You got to be extra careful.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think all those around that period of uni was when I was like, yeah, bro, I've got this kind of situation. Now I think that's when you deep it. Everything beforehand, you know you have it. You're in hospital, but I think a lot of things are made fun when you're a child.
Yeah.
So even like going to hospital, doing it as it was kind of fun. There was a Dreamcast. There was a Sega. Well, I'm sharing my age right now still. But there was these things that kept you occupied while you was waiting for the doctor or waiting for these things, you know what I'm saying?
That didn't allow you to
sit in what I have, or, do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Until you get past now. And I feel like the transition from being a kid, like the children's ward to the adult ward, is so crazy. As soon as you hit the adult ward, like 16, 17 now, you're in a whole different mode. Like, you're chilling with adults who are near death. Do you know what I'm saying?
Do you feel like there's a level of like softness that's kind of stripped away?
Yeah, to a degree, 100%. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Which is nuts.
Yeah.
It's
because
like, and
mentally,
there's no medium.
Yeah, because mentally you're still kind of facing the same challenges of like, this thing is happening to me, but I can't necessarily help it, but I didn't. And that's the thing with a crisis, even though there are things that you can do to perhaps, or things that kind of encourage a crisis to come on, it can literally just spur on.
Yeah, literally.
And that's so crazy.
Literally, the one I had during the Christmas period, last year, it was cold. It's been cold in London for a bit.
Yeah.
I left my room, I went to the living room, I was on the phone, and then I promise you, like, I went up like this, came back, and I felt a crisis come on.
Really?
And I said to the man on the phone, I was like, right, I thought my body's feeling a bit mad, I think I might have a crisis. They didn't really hear it, left it, cool. After I've locked off the phone, and I don't know if it was a draft, I feel like there was probably a draft, like, the living room was significantly colder than my bedroom. But in that moment, I was like, yeah. And then literally had a crisis, couldn't handle it at home, tried to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
And obviously that's when they give you like morphine and other better ways of handling it or minimizing the pain before you go back home and stuff. So yeah, it literally could be chilling. Do you know what I'm saying? You could do the most. Like, the best you can do is obviously look after yourself.
Yeah.
Health, drink a lot of water. There are certain things that I've done. I can't speak for everyone else, but certain things that I've done, I've just been like, do you know, this has actually helped my health to a degree. But at the same time, yeah, like you said, you never know, innit?
And for those that don't know, because I also don't want to kind of like continue to speak in the knowledge of like people that are like informed, because ultimately I genuinely want people to be able to like watch this and if you're not informed, become a little bit better informed, or if you are already informed, have knowledge that there is still further to go. Like we're not even, we haven't even started with how far we need to take this in order for there to be an actual cure and an actual solution to this. But for those that aren't informed fully, what would you define as a crisis?
What would I define as a crisis? A crisis is, what would I define actually? Let me not do the thing term. I would define a crisis as a pain that you know where the pain's coming from, but you can't attack it. So it's not like a bone pain. It's not like, even though it's in your joints, it's happening because of your blood flow. So I'll describe it as painful, I guess. Yeah, it's painful, man.
Yeah.
It's weird because I've never really known how to explain it, and I've always heard people say it feels like a stabbing, which I can agree with. It feels like gunshot, which I can agree with. Obviously, I've never been stabbed or had a gun, so I can't. Amen. But I think for me, I think genuinely, it's just pure pain, innit? And I was in a talk one time, and I heard a woman who had a child, and she described a crisis as worse than childbirth. Yeah, so yeah.
Do you see me reading that?
That's the only way that I can describe it in terms of like what someone else has said in it for them. But that's on a general scale. That's what a lot of people feel. It's just painful, man, and it's like it's crazy because you're in pain because obviously like your blood is essentially not flowing.
It's not flowing.
So now you're in a crisis. But on top of that, your oxygen, because your oxygen levels are being kept at bay.
Yeah.
So now you're not even you're struggling to breathe at times.
Yeah.
Depending on where the crisis is. I'll describe it as pure pain.
Yeah.
I'm in pure pain.
In case you're confused.
It's pure painful.
Hi guys, I hope you're enjoying the conversation so far. Well, here's a chance for you to enjoy some meals on us, of course. Use the code below for 20% off your next reservation for tea. You're welcome.
Yeah, no, it's painful, man. And that's physical pain, isn't it? I think obviously there's the elements of the other stuff that people might go through, like some of the ulcers probably feel like a burn. Yeah. So obviously I've dealt with that. And it feels like a burn. Like imagine someone's like kind of like burnt your skin, and that's literally what it would feel like.
Pain.
Yeah, just pure pain.
Stop it.
No, but genuinely, yeah, man. Everyone's gonna say it's different. Like,
everyone's experience is different, though, isn't it?
But it's very much. Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah, but I think I also commend how you have been able to kind of like navigate your life, your career, and the things, your aspirations, your dreams outside of sickle cell, and how because even though you are physically experiencing the pain, it must take such a mental and emotional toll on you as well.
Yeah, 100%.
And how you've been able to navigate that while still finding the ability or finding the drive to still chase your dreams is insane to me. Because literally, I've said it on here before, the smallest of things take me out. The smallest of things, and I'm happy to lay doan for like a year. Because please,
count me out, please.
Please, I don't need the stress. Like I'm tired. I don't need the stress, and I think that's why I'm just like, no, go you, and you deserve every single good thing that comes your way. Because it is commendable. But when you have found yourself in those moments of the physical pain is now starting to seep into the mental and emotional pain, but you're still trying to go ahead and like go to this hosting, or still trying to go ahead and record this tape, or still have to show up for work. How do you do that?
God.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't lie. I think it's God. I think definitely God, and I think I've built a resilience over the years of, and it might. I don't want to say it's a man thing. I don't want to speak for all men, but for me, as a man, there's an element of like. A bit of like pride and ego, where it's like, this can't get me down. But I say that, so And I think it's weird, because I think more recently, as you get older, it attacks the mental health. Like when you're young, you just go through it, and sometimes you're just going through it. But when you're getting older, you're like, bro, this is nuts. I can't do this because of this. And you start thinking, oh, like, I'm not going to be able to do this. And so many thoughts override your mind. And sometimes you're like, oh, why me? You have all these like weird thoughts that come mentally as part of the process you're going through, especially when you're in pain. Finding something to blame, and sometimes it's not. It's just it might just be part of the testimony kind of thing. And I think for me, my thing was I know I'm talented, like acting wise. Thank all glory to God though. But I feel like a long time, like acting wise, hosting wise, and everything else I do, and just entertainment and being about. My mum has always said I've been a bundle of joy in it, so I thought, why would I stop that? And I remember like there's a few shows I've done, and when I've done them in pain, I don't know what it is, but there's a bit of like you lot don't even know what I'm going through right now, but I'm killing this.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a little bit like it
gets you charged.
It gets me charged, like in a weird way, because it's like, right, man, thank you, God. Like you allow me to. Like, I'm in pain. I'm right. Once I'm done, I'm probably gonna go to hospital. Or I'm gonna be in bed. Yeah. But there's in that moment, it's like, and it might be a people pleasing thing, but it's like, this is for the people, man. This ain't for me, innit? And I've always been someone who. My aim is like, just make one person smile a day. Like, if I can make one person smile a day, I've done my job. And I think when I'm in those moments and when I'm on stage or when I'm on set, and if I can just do something that's gonna be like, this is me, like just living through what I'm going through. Yeah. One day, when I speak about it, someone younger than me is gonna look at it and be like, wow, he's doing a mad thing.
He's killing it.
And he's got sickle cell.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it was just like, it was always like, there was always the element of pity, like, nah, you might ain't gonna stop me from getting my money. You ain't gonna pity me kind of thing as well. The mental side of things though, so forget the pain, I think the mental side of things sometimes does take over a little bit. Like I would find myself like, oh, is this even worth it? Or, oh, this might be a myth. And then I think I've trained my mind and obviously my belief in it's just like, no, like let's run it, man. And saying it sounds so easy, but the mental the amount of, I'm a big overthinker in it, so the amount of thinking that my brain is doing to get there sometimes even makes me tired.
Yeah, it's
but
exhausting.
It's exhausting, but then it's like, let's just get it done, innit? And I think, I like in a weird way, I crave like making people smile, innit? Like, and I think it helps me. I think it's like, in a weird way, it helps me not think about what I'm going through.
Yeah, making people happy.
Making people happy. Like,
but would you say that, so long as you're, because that's almost, and one thing that I can always say in knowing you is, I've never ever, I don't think there's ever been a time where like, I've ever seen you within like the first 2 minutes, I'm like laughing about something, because you are like, you are joy. You bring so much light into whatever space you walk into. And I think you've always carried that. And because of that, it made it so hard to be like, to associate the two, because of like, wait, how's because like, he's just so happy all the time. Like it makes it, your brain can't compute that two things can coexist at the same time. And I think when you are then dealing with kind of like that mental battlefield between your body telling you can't, but you want to show up and you want to do things, and your emotions are going crazy. Do you have a routine or like a ritual or something that you have chosen to do for yourself, despite whoever else is around and despite whatever anybody else might feel about it, but something for yourself to kind of help you out of that space?
Out of that space? Not really, not other than praying, you know? Yeah. I think and as a man, I've cried. But I'll sit down and say, brother, there's been times I've been in my bed and I've just cried and just let it out. Yeah. I've just been like, then after you cry, like you're just like, but why am I crying, more? Why not, man? I'm not even on the man out flex. It's just like I think I've been the person who's held it all in, and it's shown in different ways. And it's shown that in ways that might not be positive or might not be true to me. And there's been moments where, do you know, it's like, yeah, man, like I'm really feeling it. Like I'm like my mental is, I don't know how I'm gonna deal with this right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's been moments where I'm like, I don't know and I've just sat there, upset, and I thought, just cry, bruv. You want to cry, cry.
Yeah.
And I've cried in my room, and do you know what I'm saying? And while I've cried, I've prayed, and I've been like, do you know what? Cool. So like, now we need to get up and get back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Eat the food that you need to eat, put on back the weight, go gym, do what you can and do it to the best of your ability. Knowing that you have this, and I think it goes back to, I remember there was one time one of my old jobs I was working at, and my manager was just like to me, focus on just everything that you can control.
Yeah.
Like the stuff you can't control, naturally you're going to worry about it, but do your best not to worry about it. And I think there's something that always goes back into my head, like when I'm going through stuff, I'm just like, do you know what? I can't control these things. Like there's certain, what can I control right now? I can control taking my medication, I can control doing these bits. Let me do that and then let God handle the rest.
Yeah.
So I think in those moments, not that man's out of barling, please. You know what I'm saying? Man's not a crybaby in that. Not a crybaby. 1, 2, cry. It's a 1, 2.
1, 2, 2.
Let it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've let it out. And then I think, yeah, for me personally, prayer. And then, yeah, just getting back on my source, man. I'll, yeah, obviously take my painkillers, do what I need to do.
Yeah.
I'll be so honest. People are like, what, are you having a drink? No, just get a mocktail.
Yeah. Get a mocktail.
Water.
Yeah.
Keep it stepping,
Cheeky
man.
refresher.
Yeah. And I think I'm lit without it. I don't need drink to get me excited. Like, that's never been me, innit?
Yeah.
So
it's
I'm
just
just
about taking your health seriously.
Yeah, and that as well. And I think you hit an element of like, raw, I want kids. I want a fulfilled life. I want these things. And you do your best to actively like, and I've seen my friends like A-Star do it. So A-Star's an artist who's got Sickle Cell, and he's got 2 beautiful kids, children. He's got his wife, and he's patterning, do you know what I'm saying? So I'm like,
and he's doing things.
And he's doing things, do you know what I'm saying? So, and I think that for me, that was my vision. Like, I've always seen me on stage accepting awards and doing this, you know what I'm saying? Amen. And having my family around me, and it's like, only I'm going to make that vision come true.
Yeah. So,
yeah, let's buckle up.
And do it.
And do it, yeah, man.
I love that.
Say a little prayer.
Yeah.
Shed a little tear.
I swear. And just do it.
Just do it.
But you know what? I feel like when it
because you're not trying to sponsor it.
I feel like when you're a guy, tears isn't. I feel like maybe nowadays.
I think I'm always a guy.
No.
I'm not joking.
When as a man. No, as a man. I think it's only nowadays, maybe in this society where like it's almost like socially acceptable to know that men cry and men feel. And when you've had to kind of like show up almost like hard-faced and been like, this is cool, this is whatever. But then you also do have those aspirations of, I want kids and I want to build a life for myself. So there's an element of, I now actually also have to take this seriously and accept whatever emotions that is. And you're kind of then taking into account your physical health, you're taking into account things to be able to help you in this journey, regardless of however tough it may seem sometimes. In terms of your mental and your just your wellness in general, like if somebody was watching this and was like, okay, do you know what? Me too. I'm dealing with sickle cell. But right now everything is just seeming so, because you mentioned the A-Stars, but also you, like you've done some amazing work. You literally did the program with Julia Danuka. Like, did you have a crisis while she was filming that?
While I was filming that, no, I didn't, thank God. But tell a lie. So when we filmed it, I had an issue with my foot. So I did have a crisis because I was acting. So I did a play. Yeah. We finished the play, but we had space. And then I think I had like a night. And that day I was having a crisis. So also with people that have sickle cell, we have major crisis, minor crisis in it. So minor crisis are probably ones that you can take an ibuprofen and a codeine at home, sleep it off, you'll be all right. Okay. Those are the ones that like you might get sometimes. So they can come anywhere, but sometimes all right, cool, I can handle this at home, drink my fluids, have that, and then cool. So I think on shooting, it was in between that. So not shooting directly did I have a crisis, but in and around that area, definitely.
And are there things that you kind of have to like prep yourself to have around you? So like you mentioned, like the painkillers and the fluids and things. So you almost have to kind of like premeditate in case I'm doing this and then a crisis happens. these are the things that I need in order to make sure that I'm okay. So when like a young boy is kind of like looking at this and he's looking at you, what advice would you give him kind of growing up and being like, okay, I have sickle cell and I'm okay with having sickle cell, but I know I also want to do things. What advice would you give?
First of all, you're lit.
I hear that.
You are. But yeah, I think my advice would just be, and it's weird because obviously I feel like you hear your parents say things so often when you're younger that you're just like, oh, but I like it, man. But one thing is obviously water in it. I think for us, one thing that's been like my saving grace sometimes, just in general, is just drinking gallons of water.
Yeah.
It's good for the skin.
Yeah. Come on.
But I think it's also good just to help oxygen move around your body and also flow and keep that set. Don't think about the things you can't control, of course. And then I think just do your best to just be you in situations, which is why I want to hate at my parents, because I feel like they just allowed me to do things, man. Yeah, to be me. And I think from having that element from when you're young just allows you to follow through with that, because then it don't mean that you have an element of no one can't really tell me nothing because of my parents. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like there's an element of my parents were safe. They were like, I had the biggest jackets. You can see some of my pictures. I was the biggest puffer. I'm swallowed in it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if I'm going football, I'm wearing the leggings. I've got the gloves, especially in winter. But I'm kicking ball. Yeah. If I'm going swimming, I'm making sure I'm swimming. Coming out when I feel a bit too tired. Run a hot shower. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think for me, and for you lot, for anyone who's watching, to be fair, it's just you more times you know what to do. Yeah. You know what to take care of. Times you can't control it. I went like even man, because sometimes like even with swimming, like recently I went swimming and I had a crisis. Yeah, but luckily and thank God there was a sauna and a steam room. Went there, warmed up my body, got my body like regular, like I was able to really like regulate. Cool, if I go there, regulate it. So I was able to regulate it, took some painkillers and I was good. Nice. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I always say, okay, the main things I think I'll say is find out your triggers. Find out know what triggers you. Stress, heat. Obviously, hot and cold is kind of inevitable, especially living in London. The way you think about things, 100%. Drink loads of fluids. If you ever do go to gym or you want to go to gym, do it and know your limits. Don't ever overexert your body. Don't feel like you need to show up for anyone. Like, always show up for yourself. Yeah. I think for me, that's what I've always, like, as I've grown up, I've just learned to show up for myself. At the end of the day, it's not me versus them, it's me versus me. You know what I'm saying? So if I can look at my body today and be like, do you know, I want to look at that tomorrow, I'm going to have to take the incremental steps. Yeah. If I start looking at next, man, then I'm like competing with that. And then before you know it, I'm trying to bench 100 kg, 150, 200, 800 kg. And obviously I'm putting myself in a crisis because I'm trying to do something I know I can't do. Yeah. Rather than taking it bit by bit. So yeah, man, I think my overall is like, live. Do your best to live, man. Yeah. Like, you don't need alcohol, personally. Yeah. It's a bit fun sometimes. But you don't need it. You don't need it. Honestly, you don't need it. It doesn't help, especially when you have sickle cell. It doesn't, because you get really dehydrated. Yeah. And if you're not drinking enough water after you've had it, it's not good. Like, it's not helpful for your body. Yeah, man.
And I think also when you're when we're talking about like holistic approaches to even like your well-being, like things like adequate rest is important. Yeah. Things sleep. Like, and sleep is important. Sleep even like when you're saying not to look at other people, that also requires you to sometimes even put boundaries in and be like, do you know what, no, I can't come out today, I actually need to sleep. Or no, I'm not even feeling good today, I actually need to rest my body. Or do you know what, actually,
I'm bad at that, so listen to Ruth.
Yeah. Or do you know what, actually, like, it's just way too cold outside, I can't come out today. Yeah, listen. You know,
guys, take note, that one.
It was so silly.
No, do you know, it's so true, because I think that's another thing for me. Sometimes it might be like the people pleasing side of me that I do make the effort to, like, even if
you don't want
to miss out. And that's another thing. Yeah. But this life is as long as you make it. Yeah. There's always going to be enjoyment. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? So if you do miss a 1, 2, just let them know. And I think being honest, in it, I think growing up and being honest with people and be like, yo, I can't lie, I'm in a bit of pain, I won't be able to make it. Yeah. the people that understand are the ones you keep.
Yeah.
People that don't understand are not needed. You know what I'm saying?
How have you navigated that though? Like trying to, especially when you were kind of in your own journey of trying to even understand it and deep it yourself. How have you navigated friendships, relationships with trying to be like, okay, do you know what? I'm trying to understand this thing, but listen, this thing is also happening. How have you navigated that?
That's what I'm saying. Come with the questions, isn't it? Yeah. How have I navigated that? It's been interesting. Like I said, for a long time I didn't speak about it, so nobody really knew until it came down to crunch time. So, and I say crunch time as in when I was in hospital. And I think what that did was gave me an escape, but also it made me become avoidant. To a degree, because then it just meant that like no one could ever get as close. Yeah. Because I always had this thing like they would get as close as I want them to, but never as close. Growing up now and obviously trying to navigate friendships and continue the friendship, I think I've just become more honest, innit? Like, yo, this is what I'm going through. Buy me some time, or this is what I do go through in case this happens. This is what it looks like. And I think your friends just become supportive over time, naturally, innit? Like, the bridges will ask, like, wow, you cold? Or you good? Saying you're right. Just small check-ins here and there kind of make it better.
And is that appreciated?
Yeah, and it's appreciated, yeah, definitely. As long as it's genuine and nice, and I think some people can be like, they can come across like, oh, have you got it? But sometimes it's just like, you good? Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm calm. I've always told my friends as well, 9 out of 10 times, I'm good. And if I'm not, I will say. Yeah. If I don't say and you clock, then I'll be ready to like talk and then we can have a cut from the motive or wherever we're at. But being open, man. Yeah. Yeah, I think being open, letting people know, you end up speaking about it. The people that understand and want to understand will stay around. They'll delve into what happens. Some of your friends might not delve in because they want to wait till you're open enough to speak about it. Yeah. And you appreciate those friends in different ways, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, being open and honest, really and truly. Yeah.
And then in what way do you find that you've also then found just the balance between managing your career now and your health, as well as also then being open about what you're dealing with? How have you found that balance?
I found that balance. The balance is interesting. So it's getting easier because there's more people speaking about it now. Yeah. So I think there's a lot more awareness. So I think with my career, I've told everyone I work with on a constant basis. I've told. Yeah. Acting wise, I've got an agent, and I've told my agency this is my situation, and I believe they pass on that message to whoever I work with. I was on set 2 years ago actually, and they had thermals. I walked in, there's thermals there. I'm like, yo, this is, thank you. Yeah. So it's like, it's the small things that matter, innit? Like, there's thermals, obviously, if it's too cold, I'm shooting at night time, they've got a jacket for me. I can stay in the trailer, naturally for everyone as well, because it is cold as well in the UK, full stop. People that book me, people that book me, obviously, if it's like a one-off, I don't tell them I got sickle cell. Yeah. I just pray I can host. Yeah. More time I can. Yeah. Thank God. If I can't, then I would have to obviously tell them I couldn't because of the situation. Never been in that situation yet though. Yeah. Yeah, thank God. And then everything else, people I work with regularly, I do let them know in it. So if I'm like, right, if my energy's not here, it's because of this or because of that. And I think my aim now is I took 2 young boys to wireless with sickle cell. Yeah. And before that, I had an epiphany that I didn't have an older brother who could talk to me about this and stuff, innit? And I realized, like, because of that, I might have missed out on certain things that I wanted to do just without the knowledge kind of thing. I think from then my aim became to just allow young boys and women and whoever, to be fair, to just be like, rah, if he's got sickle cell and he could do all this, I'm sure I could do my thing. Yeah. And not just for sickle cell, for anything, any type of invisible disease. It's just like a situation of like, he's so cool, I want to be like him, or he's done that, and just more for like themselves, you know what I'm saying? And obviously the glory of God at the end of the day for me personally is just like, there's an element where it's like, I want to get to the point where it's like, God, this is my testimony. My life that you've given me, I've gone through this, been through this, go through this. I'm able to do this, all thanks to you, kind of thing. So.
And in terms of like just like the work that you want to do, especially this year alone.
Yeah, this year we're going crazy, man.
Hopefully,
God willing. For me personally, my personal career, I want to do way more acting jobs. I feel like I've been sleeping on myself a little bit.
Yeah.
God willing, something's coming out this year, but we'll see. Huh? You say you're gonna punch me up? That's mad. I was thinking, what? No, God willing. No, I want to do a lot more this year though. Hosting and presenting has been going well.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was working with Julie last year on her show, which has been amazing. She's dope. But I was presenting on her show the year before, so that was fun. I want to do more. Like my ultimate aim is like, if I'm nominated for an award and they're asking me to present, it's a win-win.
Come on.
It's a win-win. And with Sickle Cell, man, I just want to expand the education and entertainment aspect of it, in terms of like getting other artists or people who have sickle cell to just speak about it.
Yeah.
Getting a lot more young people involved, and just making people aware of it, innit? I think the more workplaces and situations are aware of this blood disease, it makes it easier for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? It makes it easier for conversations to happen. It makes it easier for people to be like, yo, this is my blood group, my genotype, what's yours? Just to have those were awkward conversations growing up. Do you have AA or AS? Like, no one's really trying to hear that when you're dating.
Yeah.
Now I want people to be like, I can have this conversation. And I've got aims. I want to do what I've done 2 years ago again this year. Take some other people to a festival or something where they can enjoy, collaborate. Obviously, I've appeared on Reservations for 2. Make sure you lot subscribe in that because I'm here. But no, genuinely, man, I wanna break some boundaries this year, man, and just be like, yo, regardless of what you're going through, what you have, stick at it, and make it work, man. Superman,
Come on, G.
Come on, G. Come on, G. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I love that. Yay. No, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I really hope I hope it was informative. I hope it was beautiful to listen to, and thank you so much. Bye.
Peace out. Peace out.